Yo, your favorite Terra Little Bacon Bear hanging with the one and only. Well, I'm a little B, but you can be the big B today, Mr. Brett Barish.
I'm the double B. I got two B's.
I got two B's too.
Do you?
Yeah, little bacon bear and then Brett Barish. So that's like a lot of B's.
Hey, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So we are the bacon family on my side. We love bacon. I am
Really?
I am bringing home the bacon. My wife is making bacon. My kids are strip of bacon, bacon bits, uh, eating bacon, crispy bacon. Like we have bacon names for all of them. We're a huge bacon. We are all about the bacon.
I'm just so shocked because this must be meant to be there. I'm so glad.
There's
This might be a
nothing.
weird. This might be a weird question then. Do you have like a favorite cut of bacon or a favorite type of bacon in your household? Because I do.
Dude, of course. There's
I'm
this bacon. So a friend of mine introduced me to, there's this bacon company based in Wisconsin called Newski. And Newski, that's all they do is bacon and they cure it and it's big, thick pieces. And we like my family, trust me, every day we eat bacon. I want it burnt, crispy bacon is
okay.
best.
See, because I don't think that there's any such thing as like cooking bacon really just too much. Like if you left it in the oven or left it in the pan too long, it's like, I could keep going. If you put it alongside your eggs, everything is fine.
Everything's perfect. And I'll take it one step further. I believe that bacon's the one food in life, the 3 or 5 second rule doesn't count. It can survive forever.
Oh, because it's cured. I could see why you'd say that. But if it's got dirt or lint on it, I can't do it.
No,
But
no, it's burnt. It's still good. You can eat it a day later and you found it on the ground. That's me. I'll eat it.
how about this? If I had to run into the wild today, I would fortify my backpack with bacon. I would make sure that I had like a good amount.
There's nothing better. Trust me. I love bacon.
Oh, well, I'm so
Sorry.
glad that we can unite on bacon. That's a good starting point. I feel very warm. I already started with my bacon. I got my bacon bear shirt on, so I'm just like we're just in a good space
Love
now.
it. Love it.
So we didn't come here to talk bacon. We came to talk sovereign brands. Man, it seems early for alcohol, but I don't think it's too early.
No, never too early. It's 5 o'clock.
Absolutely. Well, when choosing things like choosing crazy names, why wine and spirits? Because you could have probably chose anything in the world.
I think I feel that way. I think I can, I think, and it comes with confidence. I could have done this with a brand in any space as long as I lived and breathed it and I owned it and I loved it. And if it's got to be real to me, meaning I have to believe in it. And why wine and spirits? My dad was in the industry for 45 years. When he came home at night, and I've got three older brothers, all he would talk about is his business. That's it. So I feel I didn't work in the industry, but I feel like I grew up with a knowledge base of it.
Yeah.
So you can't help but be involved in what your parents do for a living, if you know what I mean.
I can relate. I can definitely relate. Would you say like I think sometimes when it's like offered to you, or maybe it's in your household when you're young, you're like resistant to it, like, no, I'm gonna rebel. I don't want to do wine and spirits. I want to do rock and metal. I want to do something else. Did you feel that, or were you naturally drawn to this? You didn't resist the urge or the call.
I was the idea kid. I had tons of ideas. I remember in high school, and this dates back 30 years. I wanted to do in tequila what's called 100% agave, which is a type of tequila that's all tequilas today. Back then, it wasn't 100%. And I was the one who pitched my dad constant ideas, and he was the one who just he didn't want me to do this. He didn't want me to be in his space. Not in a bad way. I think just in a way of, you know what, there's got to be something easier out there for you. There's got to be
Mm.
something, better for you. But I wanted to be in it. I always did. Always, always, always.
Talk to me about making wise moves, because even like knowing that you want to do something young, while when you're young, you don't always have like the maturity to know that you should leap and go for it. Talk to me about that.
I wish I did. I was and I tell people about this all the time because I think it's important. There's certain people in life who know exactly what they want to do.
Mm.
I was the kid, and it wasn't until my 30s until I started this company. I didn't know what I wanted to do, meaning I had so many ideas, I never picked something. And that's
Ooh,
part
I
of
know that feeling.
Sometimes that's people's biggest issue is just pick something, because if you're going to be good at it, it opens up opportunities. And I always was always afraid, Bacon. I was afraid of, boy, what if I pick this and I would run out of ideas. And you never do. You never do. But once I chose, that's when it just got easier for me.
Talk to me about, like, I feel like as a person that is a creative person, also like that, a lot of ideas can run back and forth in your head and keep yourself up at night, but it's about getting to the execution and about seeing those things through sometime. What brings you to that point for you?
Well, so if you take my brands, Bel Air, Bamboo, McQueen, my gin, Vion's my new brand, my past brands, Ace of Spades, Douce, what they all had in common is, in anything in life, you can have great ideas, but you got to execute. You got to execute. And that's the hard part, is just start putting it together, start mapping it out, just jump in. And I think that's the difficult part for a lot of people and that was my issue, was, it's not about whose idea it is. It's just execute good ideas. And that's where I've succeeded. I'm executing, whether it's my team, whether it's somebody in the street, whether it's you telling me an idea that, oh, that's a good idea, I should go try that. I just want to execute good ideas.
I always say, like, I heard a saying once that, like, if you have an idea and you don't act on it, sometimes that idea moves on from you to somebody else, and you'll look at someone else like, oh my God, I had that idea first. Yeah. How do you move through that when that happens to you? Because as an idea person, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, it's funny because in some ways, I'm too anal, meaning I want it too perfect. I want everything done right. I want, the name, the liquid, the taste, the story, the bottle, the design. I want it all done. And I think sometimes that's a negative, because I won't execute on it then. So other things I probably should have just jumped in on years ago, I missed out on because I wanted it perfect, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So sometimes, and I'll use an analogy that I think you'd appreciate in the music space. Everybody I've ever talked to in the music industry, in a musician, their number one song, commercial song, has never been one that they thought was going to be successful. They didn't want to put it out. They just didn't believe in it.
Yeah.
But that makes me realize you just got to put shit out there, because you never know. You never know. And if you put it out there, you're going to be surprised. So I like doing this. I like trying things. I like failing is a wonderful option.
Failing is a wonderful option. But failing can be tough on the ego and the pride. Loss it hurts, it's never fun. How do you move through feelings of that?
It's horrifying. It's one of those things where I have a lot of sayings. My first, call it 10 years, was horrifying. Everything from bankruptcy to losing my house to I got the IRS sweep my bank account because I stopped paying taxes, all because I kept putting more money in the business. The outcome is amazing when I think about it. So you can will yourself to success. And I think that's what we've done, is we've willed it to success. But I've learned it's, failing, as long as you pivot constantly, Bacon, as long as you are aware of, if something's not working, cut it off quickly, then that's a positive failure, because you're adapting to you're trying to fix things constantly. And I think that's a good thing.
What would you go back and tell yourself in the first year of business, if you could offer yourself advice?
Trust my instincts, which I didn't do. Trust my gut, which I didn't do. I have a brand, Bel Air. I'm sure you've seen it, Bel Air, the black bottles.
Of course. I was going to ask about that. I have a specific question. Go ahead.
So Bel Air, this black bottle, when I introduced this, my industry told me don't do it. They said, don't put it in a black bottle because you can't see the liquid. It's a mistake. Don't do rosé first. You got to do a brut first. Your price point's wrong. You can't compete with the big boys. And the younger me would have changed everything, because I thought everyone is smarter than me. And it took me a long time to realize I'm in this for a reason. If anybody's going to F this up, I want it to be me. If anybody's going to screw it up, I want it to be me. So once I started embracing what I'm doing, and I'll listen, but you know what, if I don't like the idea, I'm not going to change. I got to trust my instincts.
You go with what you know versus going with the flow.
100%, especially if you don't have a lot of money. You got to be different. You got to stand out, do the things that's going to make a difference.
I love that you spoke about the bottle being opaque. Like that's a very special thing, and it's a very unique thing. And I think in the club, I think it makes you look even a little bit cooler when you're holding it. It's like you've got this black bottle, and then also it expanded to make it so that you guys had black bottle girls and black bottle boys. Like it became another thing that you just like tapped on. But I feel like when I look at Sovereign Brands, everything is something that's brandable. Is that an intentional thing?
It's I want options, but it's also when you mentioned black bottle girls, black bottle boys, there's Lux girls, there's Lux boys, we got the blue bottle now. So there's blue bottle boys.
I had that too.
All that stuff, we didn't start it. That's the beauty of building something. It's being aware of your surrounding and seeing how people are reacting to it, and embracing it. If you're an artist, you embrace your fans, run at them. You embrace the things that people love about your brands. Bamboo, we got this rum bamboo, and there's a drink out there that's now my favorite drink. It's called the XOG. So someone out there mixed our original, which is our original original product, with our XO, which is the black bottle. They called it XOG. We love it.
I feel like that's like traditionally when drinking, it's about exploring different tastes that work for you. It's just like exploring your palate. Some things might work for others and some might work for others. You know what I mean? Whatever gets you there.
Exactly. But it's being aware, music's that way, being aware of your audience, being aware of, what they like, what they're listening to. If you're not aware, you're missing the opportunity. You're missing what's going on out there. And I think our team and us are very in tune to, call it our fans, the people who follow. My father had an expression, which I think you'll appreciate, Bacon. You can't buy cool. You either are, it either happens, but you can't buy it. And we're not trying to buy it. We're just evolving.
You can't buy cool. And there's a lot of people trying to buy the cool, but you can't.
No.
The cool comes from within. But I do think that you guys do a good job of like embracing not only your fan base and knowing who your fan base is and knowing your consumers, but also like really embracing hip hop. Like we know that hip hop and spirits go hand in hand. They meet right here in the middle, but you guys have done a really good job of seeing that through and continuing to evolve. Talk to me about the relationship that the Sovereign Brands has had with hip hop.
I'm a huge fan of hip hop. I'm a huge fan of artists. I think, hip hop's usually one person. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot to put yourself out there. It's something that we've embraced since day one. And the idea of working with artists, the idea of working with not just big artists, whether it's Rick or Wayne or Wiz or Khaled, but we love up and coming artists. We were there when Post Malone was a brand ambassador, when he had just one song, or G Herbo or A Boogie or Maluma, or I don't know. It's something I like being around artists, and I like when they're supportive and we can support them back and do things together. It clicks for me. There's a real relationship. It's not a transaction.
I think that it definitely goes hand in hand, because as much as you are giving the texture of their lifestyle, you're giving the drink for the lifestyle, they're also giving you the soundtrack of that. Do you have like a favorite song in which they mentioned your brand where you're just like, no, this is my shit, turn my shit up, run that back, they said rose?
I have to be honest. I've had the same ringtone for maybe 4 or 5 years, and it's Kodak Black's Patty Cake.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm sipping on Bel Air. I can't get over that track. I love it. I love that track. And my 90-year-old dad has the same ringtone, so it means a lot. but that's an example of why I love what we do for a living. And I use Kodak as an example. I, I didn't know him. I had no idea that he did this. I had my daughter's friend told me about this song. I'm like, who that? Kodak did this? And watch what happened. He was in jail when I found out about the track. I went and visited, I got his contact. I went and visited him in jail. I wanted to be there for him. I wanted to help the guy. Like, come on, you did me a freaking solid. It's my turn. I got to help you in any way I possibly can. And that's what I feel about kind of the hip hop world is it's my job. If you're going to help me, I got to give it right back at you. So I believe in that stuff.
Man, the support is real. Did Kodak ever like repay the favor in the future? Like, are you guys like playing golf on the weekends or something, or at least playing basketball, or just kicking it or eating a meal? Because that's like a hell of a thing to do.
But I love Kodak, and it's one of these things where, like anything I can do, I'm here. So ask. I wish everyone was like Ross in that they run at it. They'll go after it. They want it. They got an idea in their head. Let's go make it happen. And that can be anybody from, I don't know if you know the influencer Pretty V.
Yeah, the comedian.
I love her to death. I met her doing my interviews. She wants to work with me. She's done, I love her to death. I want to do things with her. There's a new artist, Juicy Fruit.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Love her, but she's hungry and aggressive. So that's who I am. If you're going to run at me, I'm going to appreciate it and run right back. So that's what I want from artists. I want them to embrace us, and that way it's easier to get shit done.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And everything that you said was just about seeing the spark and about getting to the execution. What advice would you offer to someone who is like maybe on the cusp of a good idea that just cannot get across that hill or that mountain,
And you got to go for it. I just wrote a note to my whole team today about the power of willing something to happen. I was thinking about it even today with getting ready to talk to you. Part of the battle is, as much as the brands I think are great, is having people just believe, and you can will people into it. You can make yourself successful. You can make yourself bigger. You can get people on your side. That's it. I think jumping in, loving what you do, those two, if you can combine those two things, you're going to succeed. Love what you do and will yourself to make it happen.
I also like that you said that you talked to your team this morning. Like you rely on team in some way, shape, or form, but being involved and staying hands-on seems to be also important for you. Would you also offer that advice to somebody coming up? Because I feel like everybody's like, man, I got to do everything myself and I don't need anybody else. And you can get in that mindset too,
Bacon, I think it goes both ways. I think you asked me earlier advice. One of the advices I wish I would have listened to earlier was rely on me, rely on yourself, because you're never going to be disappointed. However, if others people help you, great, that's just cake. But the key is, if you build a team, you got to empower them. You got to make them stronger. So if there's ideas they have, I need to be there. I need to listen, because they're going to have good ideas. If I have something that I want to say that's going to motivate them, I got to share that. So I think it cuts both ways. The bigger you get, you got to build your team and be one. You got to all, what do they say, row in the same direction. You got to all be, you got to build your army. And that's what we're doing. We're building an army, whether it's people, our ambassadors, whether it's our direct team members, or having a conversation with you. We got to build our army.
No, I definitely get you on that. And I feel you. I as a person, I feel like I always say, like, I hate team sports a little bit because it can be just a little bit shaky and a bit like nerve-wracking to just put your trust and reliance on somebody else, because then it requires you to go back and do it for them later on. It's like, oh man, I gotta clean up your mess because I let you do it the first time. But I love that you're still inclusive team. I'm working on that in my growth.
Team, but I can't tell you, if you want to get there, you got to rely on you. any value that comes, any value that other people bring is icing on the cake, but trust yourself.
You move in so many different directions. I feel like this conversation has gone in so many different directions, but I think that it all obviously makes sense to you. From champagne to rum to gin and everything else in between, do you have a favorite? Do you have any like particular direction in which you know that you're like a trajectory in which you're running in? Are you moving in all directions?
No, what I set out 20 years ago with my brother was, if we have good ideas, let's go execute it. And that's what it's been. If I don't have any more ideas, I'm not going to do it. But they keep coming. So, and I believe, the reason why Bel Air, any of my brands are successful is they taste great. They look great. They're real. There's a connectivity. There are people holding them because it's a trophy.
It feels good in hand. It feels good in hand.
But I think that all has to do with what we believe in and our philosophy and the people around us and how we're connecting the dots. I want to keep doing it. And I think I can't help it. I got a big freaking chip on my shoulder, Bacon, because every single one of my brands, people told me don't do it. They can't work. It's not going to don't do it. You're going to fail. And I want to crush them. I want to prove them wrong. I got a big chip, and that's part of, for me, that's part of driving my success.
What would ultimate success look like for you then? Because I mean, if everybody's got the bottles and they're in 75 countries and everybody's got them, like, what does the ultimate success look like to you then?
I think, this will sound strange.
Okay.
I have 6 kids and I literally have 6 children. And the key to a successful child is when they get to that age, and my daughter now is 22, and it probably happened a few years ago, where she's out on her own. She's standing up for herself. She's got a job. She's doing her thing. You want to get your kids to that position of they're good. They're on their own. I've done a good job. And I literally feel the same way about my brands. Bel Air, all the brands are the same way. My job is to be a parent to them with my team, to get them to a position where they're on their own. They're kind of running their course. They're doing their thing. So each one is, one's 8 years old, Bel Air, Bamboo's 5 years old, McQueen is a year and a half old, Vion is 6 months old. I got to baby step them on their way to a successful life.
You got to get them to college.
That's how I think. That's how I believe.
If not spirits, do you know what your next journey and your next venture would be?
It's a good one. I'd like to do something in food, in branded food.
I could see that.
I just think it's, I don't know, the crap people eat and the stuff they eat. And I think I could do better. I think I could give the consumer and me something that I want, that I appreciate. I don't know. All my brands have values. I think I could do that with consumers and food. I think I could see the same thing.
You could, crazy enough, you could do it now, like a tastemaker type thing. I see the vision.
There's something there. But again, it gets back to, I have to believe in it 100%, or else
of course.
That's who we are.
Well, hey, I'm just throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. Because when someone says food, I'm like, well, hold on. I think we're onto something here. I think there's a good idea here. But I'm always.
I will say I do have one good idea. I love Lucky Charms. It's been my favorite cereal since I was a little kid. My kids eat it. I think there should be a Lucky Charms where every marshmallow is surrounded by that other crap you have to eat with it.
I almost want to show you this baby picture of myself.
And then you're going to get everything at once in every spoonful. Like, it's genius.
I'm inclined to show you a childhood photo of myself that I found yesterday. I'm holding a box of Lucky Charms because I like to eat all of the marshmallows out of it and just leave the cereal. And so it was like a rare treat. Like when my mom was like, okay, well, I'm just going to let you do this shit because I just know you're going to waste the cereal. But that is what I would want. if you could encompass more crunch
Exactly.
around just the marshmallow that I actually wanted,
it's genius.
that's what I wanted.
But that's me in the sense of I'll have an idea and I'm like, why doesn't that exist? Why don't we do that? And that's the fun part. It's a great idea, but if it's not executed, who gives a shit? Sorry.
Okay, well, let's speak to the Lucky Charms people. I think that we have an idea that I think that everybody would love. No, I love that. I do love the vision on that. Maybe we can eat cereal together one day. I would love to do that. I do love cereal.
I've had it with bamboo and it tastes even better.
Wait, you like poured it on?
Pour it in there. I don't recommend
okay.
it.
Do I tell me the formula? What's the secret formula? Because if I'm going to jump off with that, I need to know what I'm doing.
Bamboo cream. It's killer.
I could see that.
It gets you everything. It's crack and rum. It's perfect.
I see the vision here. I can see the vision, but I don't think I'll make it past breakfast. Like I think I might have to just sit there for a while. It's like a midnight thing.
Yeah, exactly.
What 3 tips or steps would you offer to someone to begin a journey to self-made? Because I know that's your whole thing.
One, rely on yourself. If you're waiting for others to make stuff happen for you,
sure,
you're not going to get there. That's one. 2, I have an expression, not having a plan sometimes is a good plan, meaning you don't know what you have until you put it out there. And if you hold on to that course too long, you may miss the whole opportunity, meaning you got to pivot constantly in building business. And 3, trust your instincts, trust your gut. If anybody's going to screw it up, make it you, because at least it was your decision. You got in it for a reason. Go trust your gut.
I like that. Definitely got to trust your gut. You said so much about pivoting and adapting, and I do love that. I think after a COVID year, we've all had to really pull up our pants real tight and really adapt. How has Sovereign Brands adapted during this time in their pivot? And what were those conversations like even? Because I know it was different.
It was, you find out a lot about yourself and what you're trying to do in bad situations. And what I'm most proud of is my entire company came together. We pivoted in everything from helping all our trades. So for example, retailers who didn't have social media, let's point the consumer where to go get it. Let's get our influencers to promote accounts. So whether it's Rick Ross or Wiz Khalifa or promoting specific accounts, again, to help them, whether it was creating assets that we could create, again, because our accounts couldn't do it, for them to use on social media. It was, or just supporting people. We probably hired 20, 30 people from the on-premise, which is the bar restaurant world, who was let go during those times, who were not part of the team. So, there's things you gotta be proactive and not wait. Some things worked, some things didn't, but if you're proactive, you're going to find tools in the toolbox that you never knew you had before.
Come on, adapting and pivoting. I love that. Well, with the rest of the year, we're almost to like the quarter of the year. Does Sovereign Brands have any secrets or surprises, since you're always thinking and dropping stuff?
So, well, this one, you've seen this, Bel Air Blue?
Yes, I did. Can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
They didn't have it at a restaurant, so I did put a bottle in my purse for my friend's birthday.
Love it.
I did do that. It's on video. It's great.
But this is an example, Bacon, of it says limited edition on the bottle.
Sure.
A lot of people on even my team said we shouldn't do this. Don't launch this. Don't do it.
Why?
Because it's different. It's different. People don't like different. This is the single hottest wine or spirit in the country. It's amazing.
Yeah, I carried it in my purse.
This continues to be our kind of the neatest thing we've ever done. It's wild. So this is new. Vion, our cognac liqueur, is really new. This was our newest launch. So these two things. But later in the year, if you have me back, I've got 2 new brands coming.
Ooh, 2.
2 new brands and 2 new categories that I'm just stoked. I'm so excited about.
I won't make you spoil any of the secrets or press you for any of the secrets, but can you come bring some to the DMV? Can you come hang out here? Maybe we can just eat some cereal and drink it. I don't know, something.
Done. We'll do it in person. I will show you in person. We will taste in person. We will drink in person. But I'm a show and tell person. So you got to touch and feel this thing. You got to have it in your hands.
Okay. I'm going to believe in that. I'm going to trust in that. In the meantime, where can we tap in with you? Say hello, become a fan of Sovereign Brands. Cause there's literally so many.
If you go to use Instagram, whether it's official Bel Air or original Bamboo or McQueen and the Violet Fog or Vion France or my personal Brett Barish CEO, hit me direct. If you have ideas, you want to be an ambassador, you want to support, you have questions, hit us up. That's another one. Follow up. That's the key to success. You got to follow up with people. Follow
up. Is there a good way to follow up without being annoying? Because there's totally a good way and a bad way, I'm sure.
No, it's never annoying. Again, don't overthink it. You just pick up the phone. That's a beauty one today, right? No one does that. Just pick up the phone and call somebody. Don't send an email. Make it personal. Call.
I think but it has to come from a genuine place. You got to be like ready to pick. You got to have a good question to ask when you get on the phone. Just gonna learn and ask like a dumb question. Be tactful.
Correct, but follow up is if I've got my happiest day every day, the happy day for me is if I've got nothing on the agenda. I followed up with everybody. Any questions somebody had, something was done, knock them off, get it out, get it done.
Come on. I needed that. You're putting a foot in my ass right now. I know I need to follow up with someone, including my mother. She's
there you go.
Looking for me, but she will be excited to know that I have rosé to give her.
There you go.
She will.
Mom, let me know.
Oh God, and she's gonna watch this too. She's gonna be like, "Oh my God, I love this Brett guy. He sounds great. We love this."
And eat your bacon.
We will as a whole family. And if you're looking for this entire interview, you can find it on my website right now, Little Bacon Bear, and that littlebaconbear.com. And thank you so much, Brett. I do appreciate you.
Love you. Thank you for having me on. Everybody continue to support, and anything we can do, please ask. Kill it, Little Bacon Bear. All right.
I shall. Thank you.